The RCMP in British Columbia have been very clear that the Safe Supply program implemented by our Prime Minister has led to the trafficking of those opioids to, in some cases, underage children.
Yeah, which is just chucking toothbrushes out of airplanes. Hey, Pierre Polyev.
WTF. Here, here.
Welcome back to the A News Network, and we have British Columbia. That's finally someone is saying something that the safe supply is a disaster. It happened in San Francisco, San Diego, Oregon, and Vancouver. It's all the West Coast, and now someone in Vancouver and BC government is actually saying what is going on. I guess that wacko term really covers it. Let's have a listen to what it's saying.
Mr. What do you make of the addictions minister saying she needs more information from BC before it kind of decides on its request when it comes to decriminalization?
I will talk about that. All she has to do is come to Abbotsford Soccer Association with me. On the front page of the Abbotsford News, the volunteers decried the situation that they have to go, and this is where my kids play too. My kids are members of the Abbotsford Soccer Association. They have to sweep the fields every time they play because kids are at risk of exposure. A week after decriminalization came into effect last year, and it wasn't applied to schools. My son's school had an incident, and they had to bring in special cleaners because of the possibility of my child and many others being exposed to fentanyl on a school ground. This is out of control. You talk to any British Columbian, and they can't take much more. When I grew up in Abbotsford, there were very few homeless people. And every year, the number of people that suffer with addiction is growing. And the number of people that are dying is growing. The RCMP in British Columbia have been very clear that the Safe Supply program implemented by our Prime Minister has led to the trafficking of those opioids to, in some cases, underage children. Governments are supposed to be in the business of protecting kids. And right now, the opposite is happening. It is so bad. I have, my office is near Meridian Meat Market. Brown's Chicken, which if you haven't had it, it's famous in BC. It's phenomenal. The Legion. The Legion, our veterans every day have to tell addicts not to shoot up on their property. Every day, members of the Legion in my riding have to clean up dirty needles and have to tell people to stop consuming dangerous drugs like fentanyl, crack cocaine, and meth on their property. It is out of control. Decriminalization is a failed experiment. It needs to stop now. British Columbians have had enough. And that is why David Eby, because he has an election coming, has said, oh crap, I am going to lose if I continue with this radical and ideologically extreme policy that is putting the risk of every kid and every community in our province.
And I know they want to push this in Toronto too.
It is insane what we have done in BC. We need to have treatment options. Yes, that is going to cost money, and I don't know how much if you're going to follow up with that question.
And I don't get it. If Trudeau's
but the status quo and what we're doing right now, it is failing our province and it is failing our nation.
How come he allows this to happen? You know, why don't you think about that? And the NDP, shame on them for even starting up a program like this. Shame on them for doing that. It's the dumbest thing in the world. And I think I saw Dr. Toot once talk about how fake that data was.
Go to every community like he's doing every month and hear from British Columbians who've had enough.
That came from. Then you find out
that is what she needs to do.
Guy got paid
She's not
from the
doing that. She is out of touch with the issues of British Columbia.
Let's continue.
And that is why David Eby, because he has an election coming, has said, oh crap, I am going to lose if I continue with this radical and ideologically extreme policy that is putting the risk of every kid and every community in our province, putting them at risk. It is insane what we have done in BC. We need to have treatment options. Yes, that is going to cost money, and I don't know how much if you're going to follow up with that question, but the status quo and what we're doing right now, it is failing our province and it is failing our nation.
What do you make of the minister saying saying she needs a little bit more information from BC. And
She's never spent any time in British Columbia. One token trip isn't going to teach you what's taking place. She needs to do what Pierre Poilievre is doing and go and meet with the people, go to every community like he's doing every month and hear from British Columbians who've had enough. That is what she needs to do. She's not doing that. She is out of touch with the issues of British Columbia. She just doesn't know, and that's why they're entertaining that stupid policy being implemented in Toronto. That's on her watch too. Thank you.
That really shows you how much the Liberals really do care. Like, doing the drug thing is exactly what they want. You just forget about the corruption and stealing. Remember the days of you take a $15 orange juice, expense it, and you get fired? Remember those days? Where the hell have they gone? Because this is outrageous. Let's have a listen to this wacko song. It sort of fits Trudeau anyways now at this point. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Best of goodbyes.
Trudeau, you wacko, you've crossed the line, dictating lives with a sign that's not divine. Pierre's on the ground calling out your fiasco. Time to tune in, drop the act, bro. Trudeau's grand plan, out of control. Safety he claims, but we know his role. It's power he craves, not our welfare. Pierre's on the mic, exposing the nightmare.
To allow those drugs to kill the people in our hospitals and on our public transit. When will we put an end to this wacko policy by this wacko Prime Minister?
Canada-wide